Hey there, my crafty friends. It's Tammy Williams here with TammyLovesStamping.com, and I'm here to unbox another paper pumpkin kit. Every month I record myself unboxing this paper pumpkin kit. It's a subscription that I get in the mail every month, and this month's subscription is called Lakeside Retreat, and it is the April 2026 paper pumpkin. The box is a little bit different because paper pumpkin is now available in multiple countries. It used to only just be available in the United States and I think maybe Canada, but now they can get it in Australia and they can get it in Europe. Wherever Stampin' Up! Is sold, they just started this kit available for them as well. So that's why the box shows it comes in multiple languages as well. So that's kind of exciting because it just shows the popularity of paper pumpkin and how everybody wants it, because it's just expanding all over the globe, not just in the United States. So let's get started and open it and see what's inside. Usually, the first thing you always see is a ink spot, and the ink spot this time is Peaceful Pine. Peaceful Pine is a brand new in color, hasn't even been released yet to the public. It has only been released to demonstrators. So we demonstrators are allowed to purchase these new in colors ahead of time so we can try them out and make some samples with them to show our customers, so that once they become available on May 5th, that you will be inspired to order these colors as well, because you'll have already seen them. So yeah, Peaceful Pine, brand new in color, starting on May 5th. And then the next thing in the box is our stamp set. And we just got a notification that there was some mix-up. So some people who got their paper pumpkin may have got the wrong stamp set in their kit. So if that happened to you, make sure you call customer support, Stampin' Up! Customer support, so that they can send you the right stamp set, because yeah, this is the one that you should have gotten. It has the words thanks, older, wiser, better, you are a lifesaver, you are an inspiration, Dad, son, happy Father's Day, happy birthday. It's got some birds and it's got some cattails and this little decorative stamp. So this is kind of a fun stamp set, kind of versatile, great for Father's Day, but also for birthdays, for thank you cards, anything like that. So that's our photopolymer stamp set that comes, every kit comes with a stamp set and an ink spot. Every month we get a different color, which if you're just building up your supplies, then this is a perfect way to build up your supplies of ink and stamps, because every month you'll get a new one to add to your collection. And then it's always wrapped in lovely tissue paper, which you can use for something else. Let's pull this out of here. This box out of the way. And here are the card designs. So this first card design is you are a lifesaver, thanks Dad. The second card design says older, wiser, better, happy birthday. It's got a little bicycle. And then this one, you are an inspiration, happy Father's Day. It's got a little fish. It's got a little dock going out with some stones. And that was one thing when I saw the preview of what was coming, Stampin' Up! Demonstrators can also get a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming in the next upcoming kits. And so they showed us these little embellishments that look like stones. Aren't they cool? Yeah, when I saw those, I'm like, that's going to be really fun to play with and make them look like rocks. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Stampin' Up! Paper pumpkin kits are all inclusive, so they come with everything you need, your stamps, your ink, your envelopes that match, your embellishments, your adhesive, all kinds of good stuff. So here is some of our adhesive that came in this kit. This is called Tear and Tape. Tear and Tape is a double-sided adhesive that you will just take however much you want and then just tear it off and then peel the backing off and adhere your next layer. And yeah, it's great stuff. It's a lot more sturdy than regular adhesive, so that's why we use that as for maybe making boxes or making 3D projects that need a little extra adhesive, a little extra stickiness. All right, and here we've got our little embellishments. Aren't those so cute? The little different size and shaped rocks that we can use on our cards. And we've got some mini glue dots. Mini glue dots are double-sided adhesive as well, except they've got some foam in between the adhesive, which adds a layer, an extra layer of added height to your project. So I don't know if you can see that. See how that's got some foam in between there? Yeah, I think the camera's picking that up. Anyway, mini dimensionals. There's mini dimensionals and there's original size dimensionals, but the minis are great for smaller pieces that need to be adhered to your project. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Here we have some blue layers, 3 of them. Because we have 3 different designs, we get to make 3 cards of 3 different designs. So this piece here will be for one of the cards, one of the 3 designs, because we have 3 of them. Here are our envelopes, and a lot of times the envelopes are all the same. All 9 envelopes are the same. Like in this case, they're all the same. And they've got a pretty pattern on the front and on the flap and on the back. Sometimes the design is just on the flap. Sometimes it's just on the front. Sometimes you get 3 different designs, envelopes to go with the 3 different design cards. So you just never know from month to month what the envelopes will look like, but they will always coordinate very nicely. So let's put those aside. Here we have our first card base. That's the dock that I was showing you. Look at that. How fun is that? The dock with a little boat next to it and some trees and sky and water. And then look at the back side is all plaid. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut this in half and cut these down to by a 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. And you could use these as layers and add these to your own cardstock and make additional cards out of this kit. And that's what a lot of people like to do, is do what they call paper pumpkin alternative cards. And they just use their own supplies and expand the kit. And some people will make like 20 different cards out of one kit by adding some of their own supplies to it and cutting these card bases down. And sometimes they even cut the envelopes down and they use the envelopes to make cards with. And it's just so fun to see how creative people can be. There's a Facebook group called the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club, and you will just see all kinds of ideas on there about different ways to use your kits. So that's card number 1. Card number 2 looks like a wood theme, kind of like a deck wood that you would see on a deck or a boat launch. And again, you could cut this in half and use both pieces and make 2 different cards instead of 1. But they all come pre-scored, so all you have to do is just fold them in half, and there's your card base. And then you just decorate the front as shown in the instructions. We're going to look at those instructions in a minute. Here we have some labels. You just pop those out. So you have some squares some with rounded corners. And they usually give you 1 or 2 extra in case you make a mistake stamping on it. You can always have a do-over. So that's kind of nice. So see, you have a lot of them here. So those are our labels. Put those over here. And then we've got some more labels, it looks like, some green ones and some brown ones. And I'm not sure what color this is. Calypso Coral, maybe? With a little bit of Cajun Craze around the edges. So yeah, so you just punch all those out. And then here's our card base number 3. Some stripes, some blue and white stripes, kind of a maritime looking card. And you can use that, again, like I said, you can use that card, cut it in half, cut it down a little bit, and use that as a layer, and add it to some cardstock of your own, and maybe some white cardstock or some Misty Moonlight cardstock. And you can make 2 cards out of 1. So 1 card base. So that's kind of fun that they do that and design, you know, make the design go on both the front and the back. Here we have some more punch outs to punch out. So we've got this fun little water scene with a beach and water and some grass, some seagrass and clouds. Very pretty. And we've got a couple oars for a boat or a canoe. Do you like to go canoeing? It's kind of fun, huh? And then we've got a life jacket. Just make sure you wear your life jacket when you're in the canoe because they tip over very easily. Isn't that fun? And we got a bicycle. Oh, that's fun. A little basket on the front of the bicycle. And then we've got a picture of a fish. My husband already bought his fishing license, so he's all set to go fishing once fishing opener starts. And then we've got this circle. It's another little scene of a cabin on the water with some trees behind it. Isn't that fun? That's something a lot of people in Minnesota do in the summertime, is they own cabins up in northern Minnesota on a lake, and they'll go spend the weekend up north and at their cabin. We don't own one, but we wish we did. I love being on the water or near the water. So there's a little wooden board, kind of fun. And then this little pattern here matches that plaid on that 1 card base. So then we've got some more cutouts for that because we need enough for 3 cards. And then we have some more cutouts, some more die cuts, some circles. So this one probably goes with this one. I'm just guessing, but I haven't looked at the instructions yet, but isn't that fun? And then we've got these little cutouts here. They almost look like for sale signs, which coordinate with the dies. There's when you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can buy the add-on dies, and the add-on dies are, they're only like $12 or something, but they're good for 3 months worth of Paper Pumpkin kits. So I believe our newest dies are for, let's see, January, February, March, April, May, and June. Yeah, so they just started this month with April, and they'll be good, and for the May and the June Paper Pumpkin as well. And I don't have a picture of them right now, but I will be sure to put the link in the comments so that you can check out the add-on dies that are available if you want to see those. But yeah, there is in the add-on dies, there's a post that looks like a realtor sign. So this would probably fit right in that. Anyway, so that's that. And then there's a piece of cardboard, which is nice for using when you stamp, because when you use a photopolymer stamp, they don't have that cushiony that the rubber stamps had. The rubber stamps have a cushion on them, but the photopolymers don't. So this little, if you use something underneath when you're stamping, like this piece of cardboard, it makes your image a little bit crisper and cleaner when you stamp. Anyway, so that we can use for stamping. And then here we have our instructions. So they're very easy to follow, and they're step-by-step pictures. So, and up in the corner, it'll tell you which card number 1, 2, and 3. And then it'll show you an acrylic block. Now, I don't have an acrylic block in this kit because you only get an acrylic block on your very first kit that you order, because then you can keep reusing it month to month after that. But anyway, it's showing you a picture of your acrylic block and telling you to attach your stamps, all these different stamps, to your acrylic block and stamp this picture here. So you're going to stamp your birds, you're going to stamp some cattails, you're going to stamp you're an inspiration on the brown label. You're going to stamp the line decoration on the top and the bottom, and then the word Happy Father's Day in between. And then it's going to show you where to put your tear and tape, which are the strips, and then where to put your glue dots, or not your glue dots, your dimensionals. And so it shows you to put your dimensionals on all the backs of all these pieces. And you're going to need 5 rocks, and shows you where to put the rocks. And that's how you put together card number 1. And then card number 2, again, you're going to do some stamping of happy birthday, older, better, wiser, older, wiser, better, and some birds up in this corner here, and some cattails down here. And then you're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to attach that to your card base. And then some tear and tape, and then you're going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the bike, on the back of the happy birthday, and on the back of older, better, wiser. And then put that all together until you have your second card, and put a few rocks down there below the cattails. One cool thing too about this directions is it has a ruler along the edge, and that's for when you get some twine. Sometimes they'll send you some twine or some ribbon in your kit, and so if you don't have a measuring tape or a ruler, you can use this ruler along the edge here to measure out how much ribbon or twine to cut and apply to your card. So, and then here's card number 3. And so let's just see how many of these we can do. And then on this page here, it just shows you all the different parts and pieces for each of the 3 cards. And then on the very back, it shows you all your kit components, and it tells you the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors. So like I said, if you were wanting to use some of your own cardstock maybe to extend the life of this kit and make some alternative card designs, you could use these Stampin' Up! Colors that coordinate with this kit. For example, Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Cajun Craze, Crisp Cantaloupe, that's another one of the in colors that's coming on May 5th. And Gray Granite, Misty Moonlight, that's becoming one of my favorite colors. I've used that a lot lately. Old Olive, Peaceful Pine, which is another of the in colors that also are ink color. And Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Soft Seafoam, and Berry Vanilla. So those are your coordinating colors. And then it shows all of your stamps right here too. So those are all the stamps that come in this kit. And normally this is a separate sheet of paper, and you can use that to store it along with your stamp sets after you're done with the kit. But it looks like they've changed it up, and so we don't get a separate one anymore. I'm going to have to just cut this once I'm done and use that for my storage of my stamps. So let's get started. Card number 1. And another thing I wanted to tell you too is make sure you clean your stamps really well before you use them, because during the manufacturing process, they get some residue on them. And if you don't wash that off, it will affect your stamped image. So make sure you clean them real well before you get started. So let me grab I didn't grab my my Stampin' Scrub. Hang on one sec. All right, so this is the Stampin' Scrub, and it's got a wet side and a dry side. And so you use some Stampin' Mist. I've got an old bottle that's small, but now they sell it in a much larger size bottle but it's got a nice little spray attachment, so you can just wet one side and then wash your stamps real well. I'm going to try to do this all at once, maybe, rather than applying each one to an acrylic block. Just try to clean them real well. And then over on this side, I'm going to dry them real well. And then I need to grab an acrylic block as well. I guess I wasn't very prepared, was I? Anyway, need an acrylic block. And Stampin' Up! Sells acrylic blocks in my online store. There's lots of different sizes. So let me grab that real quick. Here's two different size acrylic blocks. So this is size D for dog, and this is size B for boy. But I think if you get a size D, that's the perfect size for most of your stamps. It will fit quite nicely on there. All right, so let's see. First, we're going to stamp Happy Father's Day, and we're going to stamp that on this little piece here. Let me get these out of the way. And we're going to stamp this little design. So I'm going to put that on the smaller block. Then I'm going to put the Happy Father's Day on the bigger block. Just making sure all that residue's off of there. Okay. So now we're going to open up our Peaceful Pine ink spot. And I usually just run my scissors across the edge here. Like that. And I only open one side so that it makes kind of a hinge on the other side so that it's the lid and the bottom stay together. And so then I'm going to ink up my little design there and put that across the top. And ink it up again. And when you're inking, you just want to tap, tap, tap. You don't want to press too hard. And then I'm going to do that along the bottom. And then my Happy Father's Day, I'm going to ink that up. Just tap, tap, tap. And you just kind of eyeball it to make sure all the letters have ink on them. Like that. And then we're going to put that right in the middle. And you just press straight down and apply a little bit of pressure. And then you wait a couple seconds for the ink to transfer to the cardstock, and then you lift straight up. And then you have it. Now we need to wash these. So I'm going to pull my Stampin' Mist back out again, my Stampin' Scrub, and clean these. All right. And then what's next? Now we want to do the You Are an Inspiration and the cattails. So I'm going to put the You Are an Inspiration kind of on a diagonal on this smaller one, like so. And then I'm going to put the cattails on this one. And, oh, and then we need the birds too, but we'll do those after. All right, so now we're going to do the cattails. No, the You Are an Inspiration. We'll do that one first. And that's going to be on this brown piece here. So again, we're going to add our ink. Kind of make sure you center it. Press down, give it a little pressure, wait a couple seconds for the ink to transfer, and then lift straight up. There you go. So that one's done. And then we need the dock scene. Where did the dock scene go? Oh, that's the card itself. It has the dock on it. Okay, so we're gonna stamp on that, and we're gonna stamp some cattails down here. It looks like just one. Yep, just one down here. Okay, so we can ink those up. My mom used to always have cattails on her fireplace mantle in like a little jug for a vase, because next door to where we grew up was a field with a kind of a tiny little pond. It wasn't very big at all. And so she would have us kids go out there and pick some cattails for her every year so she could have some fresh cattails on the fireplace mantle. Not the mantle, the hearth. Yeah, the hearth. So let me just stamp these on here real quick. I'm going to press straight down and try not to wobble, because when you wobble, if you have ink on the edges or if you have ink on your block, you'll get it on your card, and you don't want that. So there we have those two. We need to clean those off now. Let me get this back out. And then next we're going to do our birds. Let's put these back on here. That goes here. Now we're going to grab our little birdies. I'm going to put those on the smaller block and ink those up. And we're going to put some of those up in the upper corner here. Cool. Isn't that fun? We got our little birds and our little cattails. All right, let me wash that off real quick. And put that back on the sheet here. All right, now we got to put it all together. Let's see, we've got this piece here. They said they want us to put some dimensionals on the back of it. So let me find my dimensionals here. We're going to put one in each corner and then a few down the middle. Like that. And then that goes, let's see, where does that go? It goes on the right hand side, it looks like. So we're going to peel the backing off of these. The backing of these Stampin' Dimensionals can have some static cling to them sometimes, and they end up showing up all over your house. I had some in the living room floor the other day. I'm like, how did you get out here? But yeah, they can get everywhere. All right, so this is going to go along the edge, kind of over a little bit. This looks like it's leaving a little bit of a border. Like that. So it lines up top and bottom. And then it looks like the next thing we want is this little brown thing here. And we're going to attach this to it. And it looks like we're going to put it on top of this piece. So this side's going to need tear and tape, and the other side's going to need dimensionals so that it's the same height as the piece we just attached. But first we need to put tear and tape on the back of this one. So let's do that. There's 1, 2, and we'll peel the backing off of that. And put that right in the center of this brown piece here. This is pecan pie. All right, and then we want some tear and tape on this side. And dimensionals on the other side. Just peel the back off of that. And then this is going to go. So the part with the tear and tape will go on top of this piece that we attached with dimensionals, so it's the same height. And then this dimensionals will pop up the other side. Like so. So if you see what I'm saying, if you see what I mean here, so this side had to be the same height as the piece we were laying on top of, but this side needed some extra height to it to match the height of this side. So that's why we had to pop up one side and not both sides. And then the next thing we're going to do is Yarn Inspiration. And again, we're going to pop up one side and put tear and tape on the other end, because this is going to go right like that. So we don't need a whole lot of tear and tape, just a tiny little smidge on one end. Like that. And then dimensionals on the other end. Like that. And we're going to put that right there. Make sure that's flat. There we go. And then let's see, what else does it say to do here? We need to put our little fishy on. So we got to find a fish punch out. I think I punched one of those out, but maybe I didn't. Well, yeah, here it is. Oh, they did. Okay, so this little fish is going to go with 2 dimensionals on one end. So on this end here. And we're going to put that right like that. And I think see, we did that, we did that, and that. Okay, so I think all we have left is the embellishments, the rocks. So let's do that next. So it looks like they're doing 3 of this size and 2 of this size. Let's see here. Maybe those 2 go over there. That, and this one next to it. Like that. And we're going to put some down by the cattails. Like that. That. And that. There. You see them? Little rocks down there. Aren't they cute? We got a little fish, and we got our Happy Father's Day, and we got our birds up in the sky, and we got a clear water on there. A nice day to go boating or fishing. Yeah. The only thing is this piece here hides the boat on the side. Oh well. Anyway, that's card number 1. Let's set that aside and go to card number 2. All right, we got a bunch more stamping to do here. Happy birthday, older, better, older, wiser, better, the birds and the cattails again. So we're going to do that on this piece here. Where is that piece? There it is. And the older, wiser, better is going to be on this green piece here. And the happy birthday is on the rounded piece here. And then we need the bicycle. Here's the bicycle. And the rocks. And I think that's all we need for this card. And it's going to be using this base here, the stripe base. So this is going to go on here when we're done stamping. So let's see here. First we need our happy birthday stamp. And a block. And it looks like we're going to put the rounded corners on the bottom and stamp like so. There's our happy birthday. Let me clean that. And then we need our older, better, wiser. Older, wiser, better. I don't know why I can't say that the right way. I'm gonna put that on here. And ink that up. Older, wiser, better. Older, wiser, better. Okay, let's center that on our label. There. And clean that stamp off. Put that back over here. All right, I think we're ready to put it together now. I think that, nope, we still need to stamp the birds. I was wrong. All right, let's ink up our birds. The seagulls are so fun. Have you ever been on the beach and the seagulls just won't leave you alone because you've got some food and they want you to feed them? Yeah, just don't do it. Don't feed them, because boy, they will not go away if you put any food out for them. They just call all their friends over. There we go. How cool is that? Cool little seagulls. All right, let's wash our stamp. And now we need to put it all together. So this piece we're going to pop up with dimensionals. One there, one there. Just put them all on every corner, and then a few in the middle, just so it doesn't sag in the middle. Like that. And maybe put a few more at the top. We don't want it to sag. All right, and then we're going to, all right, I think I did it wrong. What did I do wrong? This is showing, oh, the blue sheet. That's what I did wrong. They want the blue sheet popped up. What did I do with that blue sheet? Here it is. I did it wrong. This is the one that needs the dimensionals, and then this, what they were just going to attach to it, but I think we'll do it the opposite way. We'll just put tear and tape on this instead. And then for when I make my second card of this design, then I'll know better. That, like that. But it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's your card. You can do it any way you want. These are just suggestions, that the way they made it, but we don't have to follow their example if we don't want. So now wait a second. Why is this bigger? This is bigger than the card base. Well, maybe not. Okay, let me put that down like that and like that. Oh, I guess not bigger. It almost looked bigger to me for a minute. All right, so that's that. And then we are going to attach this. We're going to peel all of our backs off our dimensionals. One more. And then we're going to center this up towards the top, leaving room for the happy birthday at the bottom. And then it looks like they put the bike on with dimensionals as well. So let's add some to that. Peel those off. I got to do quite a bit of bike riding when I was in Tucson this winter. It's kind of nice to be able to bike in the winter. If I'd have been here in Minnesota, I would not be able to do that, but in Arizona, it's nice to be able to do that. Okay, so we're going to put our bike right in the center here, it looks like. Oh, we didn't stamp our cattails. Darn it. And now we've got it popped up on dimensionals. I won't be able to do it. Oh, well, again, when I make my second card of this design, I will know better. Stamp first, then add the dimensionals. Well, actually, this piece doesn't even, it shouldn't even have dimensionals. It should just have tear and tape, which if it had tear and tape, then I could stamp on here. But if I try it with, I might be able to try it. And if I don't get too close to the dimensional, it might work. Let's just give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah, it kind of needs some cattails, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to kind of go right about here. Press nice and good so that, yeah, there, that looks good, huh? And then, but this one over here, I don't think I can get one on that side. The bike is kind of in the way. I think I'll skip that one. So again, another lesson learned. Stamp first and then add the bike. Otherwise, there's no room to add your cattails. All right, and then let's see, what else are we doing? We're putting a piece of wood, this little piece of wood here along the bottom, it looks like. So it kind of looks maybe like a boardwalk. And it says to use tear and tape, but because we popped this up, we're going to have to pop this up too, because if we lay it flat, it's going to look funny. So you just have to go with the flow, right? And just make things work. All right, let's peel the back off this. And lay that across the bottom, like so. And then we're putting the older, better, wiser right here. I think we'll use tear and tape for that. If I can find it, here it is. This is going to go right down here. And then the happy birthday is going to go right here. So we're going to have to pop just the bottom of that up because the top is going to lay flat. So I can put some more down along the bottom here. I think I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape at the top too. Just a smidge. I already peeled that off. Okay, so then I'm going to put this right down here. Ooh boy, that's very close to the edge. I think I'm going to have to, let me see if I open this up. Yeah, it's hanging off the bottom. I'm going to have to go up a little higher. So once again, we learned a lesson. When we do this on the next card, we need to go up a little higher so we have room for our happy birthday so it doesn't hang off the edge on the bottom there. That looks good. Okay, so now we can add our little stones. Looks like they added 3 of them. This one here. And this one here. And another one. I'm going to put it right like that. There we have it. Our happy birthday card. So that's card number 2. And now we're on to our last card, card number 3, which uses the wood. And it looks like we're going to stamp some cattails on the wood, going downward so that it shows there and there. We're going to use our circle and our brown circle. So this piece here and this piece here. We're going to use our oars and our life jacket. And what else are we using? You're a lifesaver. So we need this piece here to stamp our sentiment on. And we need a blue piece. Here's a blue piece. and a white piece. This white piece here. Got that. Is that everything? Let's see. Thanks. Yep, I think that's everything. All right. So we're going to do the same thing with the thanks, Dad, that we did on the first one. Stamp that little design across the top and the bottom, and then thanks, Dad, in between. Actually, the first one we did Happy Father's Day with the lines. So this one's going to say thanks, Dad, instead of. And then we're going to, let's first stamp our little cattails. I need to see exactly where to put these. So I'm going to kind of just position this right here. So we kind of know where to put them, like going out here and here. So I'm going to ink that up. I don't know why they put it upside down. It's kind of an odd design, but it works, I guess. So let's see where this is going to go out this way. So let's move this out of the way. Like that. Ink it up again. And then this is going to go out this way, right about there. Like that. All right. We can clean that off. And then we're going to do our sentiment next, which is the thanks, Dad. Oh, they did two. They did the thanks, the word thanks, and they did the word Dad. So let's see if we can line that up. Thanks and Dad. It doesn't look straight to me. And I don't have my grid paper to make it. Don't use the lines from my grid paper. If we wanted to, we could stamp them separately. That might be the better solution, is just to. But let's see if this is going to work. Thanks, Dad. And I'm going to stamp it first before I put the designs on it because it's so big. I want room for the designs and I don't want to overlap. Okay, this is going to go in the center like so. See, that Dad could go up a little higher. So if we had stamped thanks first and then stamped Dad second, we could have positioned that up a little bit higher. So that's probably what I will do the next time I make one. But I wanted to try it that way, just to save time. And then we're going to do this one. We're going to do, what is it again? You are a lifesaver. Looks like they did it off to the left-hand side because the oars and the life jacket cover the right-hand side. So we're going to kind of put it over to the left. Like that. And then what's next? Now we are going to, we did our stamping. Oh, we got to stamp the little design. Okay, where's that? Right here. that at the top above thanks. And we're going to put it along the bottom. Like that. Cool. All right. And we have our thanks, Dad. Clean that one. Put this back on here so we don't lose it. Now, this circle here, this piece we're gonna put with dimensionals. And then it says this piece here is going to be with tear and tape. So we're going to take our tear and tape backing off. That, and attach this to the front of our card like so. And then we'll peel the backing off of our glue dots. Do you have a garbage can right close by when you're crafting? That's what I have to do. I have to have a garbage can right near me because all these backings, you have to throw them away. Otherwise they get all over your work surface and it just make a mess. All right, and then that we're going to center in the middle here of our brown circle, our pecan pie circle. That looks so peaceful. Oh, I wish I was there right now. And then we've got our thanks, Dad. So this piece here needs some tear and tape. And I don't know if you know this or not, but a lot of times these paper pumpkin kits will coordinate with other supplies that are available in my online store, my Stampin' Up! Online store. So for example, the Lakeside Retreat Suite, I believe it's called, is available. I think, does it come available May? That might be coming May 5th, I bet. I bet that comes May 5th. But anyway, the Lakeside Retreat, there's some wonderful designer series paper that's got all kinds of lake scenes and stuff on it, just like this kit has. And it would coordinate very nicely with this kit if you wanted to make some alternative cards using that paper. All right, so now it's showing us to put some tear and tape across the top and 2 dimensionals on the bottom. So let's flip it over, put some tear and tape across the top, 2 dimensionals on the bottom. Like that. And then the life vest, it's showing dimensionals. And again, that's, let's see, looks like it's putting them towards the left. Let's do that. Maybe it leans up against something that's not popped up. Like that. And then the oars, it looks like we're putting 2 at the bottom. Like that. And a little bit of tear and tape at the top. It's going to have to be very narrow. Like that. Got a little too much on that one. But when we peel the backing off, we can push the tape over so that it doesn't come out the sides. Okay, and then to a lifesaver, what are we doing with this? We're putting tear tape on it. Okay, now what goes next? Looks like the lifesaver part goes next. Peel the back off of that. And this is going to go just in the middle of the lake, it looks like that. And then what's next? Looks like Thanks Dad might be next. This is going to go, well, kind of right here, I guess, because otherwise it's going to hide our cattails. All right, and then we've got the oars next, it looks like. So we want this bottom one first. And this is going to go somewhere like, kind of like that. And then this one, let's push that adhesive in. There we go. And then this is going to go like that. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. All right, let's get these little scraps out of the way here. Now we have our life vest to put on. And this is going to go, well, again, it's covering up our cattails, but oh well. Can't help that, right? I'd show a little bit of cattails showing through there. There. And I don't think they put any rocks on this one. It doesn't look like. So that is our third card. What do you think? So cute, isn't it? You're a lifesaver. Thanks, Dad. Love it. I don't have my dad anymore to thank, but he does deserve a lot of thanks. He was a big part of my life growing up, and I miss him dearly, and I wish he was still around. But anyway, I'll probably donate this card to somebody because, like I said, I don't have my father around anymore. But anyway, and plus when I make my next card with this design, I don't have to put Thanks Dad on here. I could put Thanks Son, or I could just put the word thanks. You know, I don't have to or I could put Happy Birthday. I could make it a birthday card, or I could say, yeah, I could say Thanks Son. I could make a card for my son. Anyway, and I should, because he just gave me my Mother's Day present. Thank you, son, for my Mother's Day present. He gave me some earrings. So, so yeah, let's see. Let's get our 3 cards out here, and let's see which one you like the best. Everything out of the way here. What a mess. All right, so we've got this one with the bike, and we've got this one with the fish, and we've got this one with the life jacket and the oars. Which one is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? I think for me it would be, well, I like them all because I love the water. Anything to do with water is my favorite. So I like them all. Thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, make sure you go to my online store, tammywilliams.stampinup.net, and search for Paper Pumpkin. And there's multiple ways you can, 2 different ways you can subscribe. You can do a prepay where you buy a 3-month subscription or a 6-month subscription. Excuse me, I'm talking too much. Or a 12-month subscription, or you can pay monthly and just be charged, each month. And they typically charge you on the 10th of the month, and then they ship out the kit on the 11th of the month. And so you usually get it about a week later. And it's just so much fun to put all these together. And you could do what's called a kit together, invite your friends over, and you could each make one. Since there's 3 of each design, you can have fun making multiple cards together. And yeah, it's just a nice, fun little retreat each month, a way to relax and enjoy some stress-free activity. So thanks for watching, and God bless.